Good evening, and welcome to a new edition of Urban Sentinel Live. Yes, it's Monday night, and what do we do on Monday night? We interview some of the most important people in the country, okay? And that's not me, So tonight we have Billy Graham Jr., who's motivational coach, development coach. He's the founder of Committed Development. He was in the Air Force for 20 years. He was committed to the Air Force, but now he's committed to personal and professional development. Billy accomplishes this through motivational speaking and coaching. He's also the owner of Solo One Clothing. The brand has a primary focus on providing motivational apparel to inspire you on your journey through life. So, Billy Graham Jr., how are you doing tonight?
I am doing wonderful, but just like you, I don't think I'm the most important person.
Well, just for 30 minutes, you can think you're the most important person in the country, okay?
I'll accept that for 30 minutes.
Okay, good. I'm glad to have you on the show tonight to talk to us, the viewers, about giving us some nuggets about how to be motivated, okay? Like I was saying in a little promo I did today, even at my age, my young age, I can use some nuggets on being motivated, okay? And how to stay motivated, So you seem to be the man. So tell me, how did you decide that you wanted to be a motivator, a motivational coach, a development coach? What brought that on?
Well, I don't think it's something that I decided necessarily per se. I'm a big believer of God, Jesus Christ. I'm a big believer. Faith is big. And I really do believe that God gives us all a gift. I didn't know what my gift was, but over time, through my time in the military and family and friends, certain people, when they start coming to you, asking you for stuff or want to get your advice on something, or people say, hey, thanks for you just brightened up my day, made the room filled with nothing but positive energy. So over time, between the gift that God gives you and what people constantly say to you and they ask you for, you start to realize that this might be something I need to look into, because that's one thing I don't do. I don't want to disappoint God. So if this is what he called me to do, this is what I'm here for.
Okay, good. I like that answer. But how do you know what your gift is? A lot of us walk around in life and we end up taking that gift 6 feet under. So how do you know what your gift is,
Well, we only got 30 minutes, so I can only give you a little bit of that, because I can talk about this all day, which they'll be able to read about it soon, because it's in a book that I'm writing right now that I'm working on called Gift Seeker. It's basically your gift is sum it up in so many ways. It's something that people always, if you recognize, people tell you your gift, they come to you on a regular basis. Like it could be as something as if you're always somebody that's always helping someone, people always come to you for help. You might look for the fields that require people that help and nurture or something like that. That's how you get your nurses. That's how you get your doctors. That's how you get your child care providers. Or you might be somebody that you see the people that are craftful and skillful. They come up with all these beautiful art designs and you're like, man, I don't know how you drew that. Like my mind doesn't even work like that. I'm not that creative. And then what do you have? You have the next Michelangelo drawing the next Mona Lisa or something like that. All those people, my sons, one of them is you sit him behind electronics, he'll put the computer together just like that. And I'll be still sitting there reading the directions 6 hours later. So your gift is in you. It's something that basically, to sum it up, is something that you do that comes naturally that other people have a hard time trying to do.
Okay, now that's some food for thought. So I got to sit back and think about what my gift is. I mean, because people can bounce back and forth in different things in life, okay? So they might not never find what their true calling is because they're bouncing around.
Yep.
So how do you alleviate that in a person, try to keep them from bouncing around from, A to B to C to D?
So that's where the coaching side comes in, because you heard of a jack of all trades before. So you can be a jack of all trades, but a master of none.
That's right.
So the problem with that is you have individuals that can like dabble and do a lot of different stuff, but they never focus on the one thing that they're good at. And the reason that a lot of people don't know that one thing that they're good at, and it's sad to say, is we as a people have tried to keep up with society. So we try to follow the next trend of what society is telling us is good versus focusing on what we're already great at. So you spend more time throughout your life trying to perfect something that many people do it. They perfect something, but at the same time, they're not focusing in on their gift and crafting and honing their one thing. And like I said, it's not something that you just necessarily know. A lot of times it's those context clues that we miss that people are telling us or bringing to us that we're overlooking. And the best way I can sum it up is your gift normally is something that you're so passionate about. Like you see somebody that's sitting in a cubicle and they're so sad and down and out. But if they're out in fresh air and they're planting flowers and watering the grass, your gift might be in that green thumb that many of us don't have, planting flowers and mowing the lawn. You might be lawn care. Everybody has a different gift. I've seen kids that want to be firefighters. They like to go save people. Like you have to pay attention to what your gift is and what people are saying, but we just got to stop following what society says we should do and follow what we know we're passionate about and what we love to do.
Mm-hmm. You make a good point there, because when I was growing up, okay, I'm about to tell my age, which I don't care, but when I was growing up, the focus was on our parents, focus was go to college, get a good education, become a preacher, lawyer, teacher, doctor, and, get married, have kids, have a dog, have a nice house.
Yep.
That's what the focus was. Now, what I've seen now, how can you motivate the young people of today to have them focus on their own individual skills and not try to be like Mike? Okay? Because that's what they want to do. Because you have kids that want to be the next Beyonce. They want to be the next Biggie Small. How do you get them to focus on what's inside of them and try not to do or emulate what somebody else is doing, because everybody can't be Beyonce?
Correct. So what I would say when it comes to that is not, it goes away from motivation from that point. It comes to more of support, because the younger kids, they're gonna follow what they see supporting. So if you start supporting the younger generation into the things that they like to do, then you will get more of them finding their gift. What I find a lot of us doing, and I've been guilty of it as myself as a parent, you try to bring the kids up to where you're at. It's very rare that the older generation thinks to look down and go down to where that kid is at. So instead of meeting the kid where they're at, we're trying to pull them to where we're at, just like you said with our parents. Go to college, go become a doctor or a lawyer. Nobody said, how many parents said, you know what, I see you like saxophones. Go learn how to play this music. No, we try to put our kids and our younger generation where we're at versus going down to meet them where they're at and ask them the questions of what do you like to do? What do you see for your future? What inspires you? What do you want to leave that legacy behind for those that come behind you? We're not teaching them that or meeting them at their level. We're trying to put them in levels that we want them to be in. So for example, like you said, the next LeBron, the next Mike, most of the time it's the parents that are pushing those kids that way. It's very seldom that a kid you got those out there, but it's very seldom that the kid wants to do that. It's us as parents like, no, you need to be in dance. You need to play football. You need to play basketball. How many parents have actually said, hey, son or daughter, do you want to learn real estate? Do you want to learn stocks? Do you like to paint? Most of the time we kill our kids' dreams before they could even begin to form them, because of the simple fact we're not meeting them at their level. We're trying to meet them at our level. And a good example of this is you see parents, and myself included, run out and buy these $200 shoes, but then it's raining outside. They're like, don't get them wet. You're going to mess up your shoes. You just stopped the kid from jumping in the rain puddle who might figure out a way to make the next water repellent shoe. But you just killed their dreams because you're worried about the financial and what the world says where your kid should be versus going down to their level and helping them develop their goals and their dreams and their gifts.
So what do you do about dream killers? Because we all have faced them at one time or another. especially in the Black community, okay? Because you are told that, why are you going out and trying to do this? You need to be trying to focus on this, this and that. So how do you remove dream killers from your life?
So it's funny you asked that because I have a little cousin and she runs around and she uses the words, I rebuke you. So anytime she feels anything wrong or negative, she says, I rebuke you. And so what we have to start teaching is, because it's one of those inside feelings. You know when something's not right. I don't care how you look at it. You know when something's not right. You might not understand it, but you get that feeling. So we need to start teaching when you know something's not right, to say something, do something, or stay away from that negative energy. The same way when we teach kids, stranger danger, stranger danger. When they feel like they don't know something about that person or they don't feel right around that person or comfortable, we teach them to recognize those signs. We also need to teach them to recognize when something's not positive for their life so they can make sure they remove all the negativity that comes with it. Because those dream killers, they're just negative individuals, negative people, negative situations. Because dream killers don't just have to be a person. It can be a situation that you're in. It can be a certain moment that you feel like, I don't like that part of life, and you stay away from it, and it kills that dream. Like I said, don't jump in the water puddle. That's being that negative person, and you just killed that dream right there. So the best way to do it is to learn to teach our kids to understand the difference between positive and negative energy. So that way they can feel those positive vibes, negative vibes, and know to stay away from that.
I think all parents want their kids or their friends or individuals to be something other than what they want them to be,
Yes.
And my kids, hey, I mean, I thought my kids would probably be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, but they live in their dreams, and do you feel some kind of way? Yeah, you feel some kind of way a little bit, but hey, they're successful, they're not in jail, so that's how I look at it, as long as they're happy doing what they're doing, hey, it's their life, and they got to be happy with it. Tony just said that those dream killers are trying to live through their children because the parents fail to fulfill their own dreams.
Exactly. Exactly. And they're pushing their dreams onto the kids. And like you just said, like you didn't force it on your kids, but you thought like, hey, maybe you'll be a doctor or lawyer. Because that's how we were raised. We were raised to think like that. Whereas now, like I told you, I got one kid to put together the computer. So I got to look at him and be like, yep, he sits there, he's on the computer all day long, but hey, he's chasing his dream. I got another one. He's a YouTube sensation. Hey, get yourself out there. I have no problem with none of that. I'm all about pushing you for your dreams and goals, long as you continue to move forward every single day. I shouldn't see you 6 months from now and you still are in the same place. We need to make a stride one day at a time. It don't have to be leaps and huge bounds and all that, but you need to continue to move forward in life, no matter what your dream is, because it's all about, at the end, like you said, happiness. What is going to make you happy? Because it does no good to chase somebody else's dream and you're living a miserable life. You see it all the time when you see these successful, as they say, successful actors, actresses, millionaires, and then you look up and they're like, they committed suicide. And it's like sad because something was wrong with that individual. Were they happy not because of the life they were living, or they didn't think they were living the life they wanted? How do you look at it? Or you can look at the millionaires like the Jeff Bezos. He got these $1 million companies. What do? They say, I'm stepping away because I want to do this. They all of a sudden want to chase their dreams, and they're millionaires, billionaires. Sometimes it's not all about the money. Sometimes the happiness is within, because like last time I checked, you don't get paid a lot of money just trying to go out and help others. But if that makes you happy, then that's what fulfills your dreams and your goals. You have to follow your life and do what you want to do, because like Muhammad Ali said, you only got one life. So live every day like your last, because guess what? One day you're going to be right. It will be your last.
Yeah, you make a good point there. Because like I said, too, a lot of people have taken their dreams to the grave with them because they didn't know how to cultivate them and how to, set that vision into play.
Exactly.
They just don't know how to do it. So when you meet with a client, how do you get them on the right track? What do you do to get them on the right track?
Well, before we can do anything to get them on the right track, we have to understand and assess what's something I learned in the military. We have to do like a SWOT analysis. I have to understand your strengths, your weaknesses, and everything, so we can know how to move forward. Because it does no good if we jump straight into chasing your dream and we haven't identified the weaknesses that might be deterring you from your dreams. We haven't identified the strengths that we need to focus on to help you overcome those weaknesses and obstacles that you might come across. So we have to first lay that like anything, foundation down, so we can understand where we need to move forward. So that's first step, understanding your strengths and weaknesses and everything, so we can get ahead. The next thing that we have to do after identifying your strengths and weaknesses is we need to set out a plan, a detailed plan. So what I found out a lot of people do, they set goals and then they just leave it at the goal. They don't have the short-term part of the goal, the long-term part of the goal. They haven't laid out the plans that are in between that to get to each step. Because one thing that you have with any goal is milestones. Think about it like a 18-year-old kid trying to get to graduation. Before you can get to graduation, you got milestones in between that. You got to graduate kindergarten. You got to get out of elementary. You got to go to middle school. You got to go to high school. You got to have 16th birthdays. And it's milestones in between that before you can get to the end. So when you make a plan, a goal, we have to find those plans in between. So first, we're going to get your strengths and weaknesses, find out what we need to work on. We're going to get the long-term plan. I normally say about 12 months, and then we're going to break down those 12 months into 3, 6, 9 months. And then we're going to break down that 3 months into 1 month, so we can figure out what we need to do within these 30 days. Because what people like to try to do is they try to conquer it all at one time. And when something throws them off and they're not ready to face those obstacles, then they shut their dream down, and then all of a sudden there's no more dream, no more goal, and then they quit, they give up. The biggest thing I try to help with clients is when they figure out the goal and what they want to do, we're going to focus on that. I don't do plan Bs. When you do plan Bs, that's like saying you expect plan A to fail. So we focus on plan A, and that's what plan A, and we're going to face any obstacles that we might endure while we're on the path to it. We're going to set up milestones. We're going to have our little markers of happiness, like, hey, you did great today. Go get a piece of cake or something. Go out to eat. Treat yourself and your family. Like, we set up all those milestones. But you have to have those things in order for your goal to be successful. And the biggest thing is we don't set that plan in motion in the middle, the beginning. We just focus on the end. And nobody ever likes to go through the journey. And they don't realize the journey is the best part of achieving your goal. Is going through the journey, because of the growth that you're going to experience, the knowledge that you're going to gain. That's the stuff that people don't wait for. They just try to jump straight to the goal, and then they wonder why they're failing. So with a client, I would normally set up a plan. We'll have plans, we'll have check-ins, make sure we're hitting those mile markers so that we can achieve the overall goal.
Now, today, I see there are a lot of people wanting to be coaches. Want to coach something, especially when it comes to personal development. How do you determine who's a good coach and a good fit for you?
So for me, because I'm not gonna lie, even though I do this, I also have my own coaches and mentors. Like, I believe everybody should have coaches and mentors. Nobody's above it. So even I have some myself. So normally, what I try to help people understand, especially just for my sake and my person, I find coaches that meet the things that I need. Like, for example, I might have a spiritual coach, because obviously if I'm looking at a financial coach, you can't help me spiritually. But then at the same time, my spiritual coach might not help me financially. And so I have my personal coach. Normally, this is going to sound crazy to a lot of people, but my personal coach, without her even really knowing she's my personal coach, is my wife. She sits there with me every day. She sees stuff. Sometimes it goes back and forth, but she sees stuff and she says stuff that I wouldn't even think to say or see. And it's like, I didn't think about that. And we bounce stuff off each other all the time, because she has businesses. She's a daycare owner. So we bounce stuff off each other. We basically coach each other. But you have different coaches. And normally the times I call it my circle, because you have different circles, friends, however you put it. But I call it my circle, because the circle that you have that you are within, normally your coaching circle, that you can call it as well. They're the people that motivate you to get to that next level and whatever that specific need or niche is that you have going on in your life. So if you're looking for something and you feel like you're missing something in your life, you need to follow that, find a coach that specializes in that particular thing.
Okay. That is very interesting. Hearing a coach say they have people that they surround themselves with to get to their goals. And I never thought about that. So that's a good observation. That you're doing that you're surrounding your people, surrounding yourself with people that can motivate you also and
Yeah.
everything. Now, is there an age limit to who you would coach? What if a 75-year-old person came along, and wanted to do some things in that twilight years to fulfill some dreams before they go on to the great reward? Would you take them on as a coach?
Yes, I would. I don't believe there's an age limit at all because I'm a firm believer that everybody has a certain way that they say and do things that
Mhm.
certain people will accept and understand it and certain people will not. You got kids, like you said, it's certain things that you could tell your kids and they won't listen to you. And
Mhm.
somebody else that totally you don't even know comes and says the exact same thing and they listen.
Mhm.
It's all about the person. Some people deliver
Right.
things differently. Some people receive things differently. So it doesn't matter age to me because if I can't say it right to get to where you need to be based off of the information you tell me, I'm going to help you get to connected with the person that can say it the right way. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how many clients I have, how much money I can make. My whole thing is helping people get to the best version of themselves, even if that means it's not me helping them. So if I have to go help you find somebody else to get you to that next level, best believe with today's society and the reach that you can reach out in the circle of other coaches that I know, we'll find somebody to help you, even if it's not me, because the overall goal at the end of the day is to help you be the best you that you can be.
You remember any of the coaching organizations for development and things of that nature, associations that you all
Um,
have?
Not necessarily associations. It's the ones like we went through different academies and different certifications with. After you do them, they make the Facebook groups and make the different groups, and y'all talk back and forth. After the fact, it's not any associations per se because, believe it or not, coaching is not necessarily a nationally thing. Like it doesn't have accreditations like a doctor or something like that. You would
Mhm.
say like anybody can be a coach. It's all about if it's your calling, if people come to you, if people need your services. So it's different accreditations and certifications you can get, but it's not something that's directed that says, okay, you have to be this type of coach and you have to go to this type of school. You're
Mhm.
like you say any other profession would be. So coaching is pretty open and liberal to anybody. You can make groups with anybody, any number of coaches. I just happen to be in groups with coaches that I went through different certifications and academies with. So those are the groups I'm a part of.
Okay. So one day you're probably gonna be like a Les Brown or a Tony Robbins or in that category. You're gonna be in that group one day, huh?
Hey, if that's what God wants me, I'm not holding back anything. I don't turn down any opportunities, and I don't cap myself at all because I don't believe in capping yourself. Because when you cap yourself, when you
Uh-huh.
get to that level, you'll never be able to get over that level because you cap yourself. So as long as
Right.
God stay the same, I'll shoot. I'm aiming for the top. I'm from Texas. It's always go big or go home. So I'm
Yeah,
always shooting for the top.
yeah. Y'all do a lot. Y'all do it big down in Texas, boy. I tell you, I can see when I go to the restaurants when I'm down in that area. So look, tell me about your clothing line.
Oh, the clothing line. So it's funny when you say that. So that clothing line got started because as I was growing up, it was clothes all over the place, but I never really had anything that spoke to me. It was either you were always following the trend, like you wearing polo, you wearing heel figure, but nothing really just spoke to me. And I was like, well, if I feel like this, maybe somebody else feels like this. And I'm affirming. I told you about God. I got certain numbers, 1, 3, and 7, all throughout the Bible. Those are my numbers.
Mhm.
So that one, that's solo, because I felt like you're always solo. You come in the world by yourself. You're gonna lead this world by yourself. Nobody's in charge of the moves and things that you do. It's all up to you. Like you can have people influence you, but at the end of the day, everything and every move that you make is by you through you. So as you journey through life until that day comes, you're doing everything on your own. You have people on your corner, people that got your back, but that's my thing. Like solo one, you're by yourself on your path to your journey. However you get there, where they go, because everybody goes different ways on their path. We all have the same goals. It sounds crazy. We all want to be successful. We all want to be happy. We all want to have these wonderful lives. We all have these same goals. We all go different ways of getting there, but we all have the same end in sight. So however you do it, Solo One Clothing, it's all about how you go on your journey, how you get on your journey. And I just want to make clothes that say what you feel and what you think along the way on your journey.
Now, what items do you have in your clothing line now?
We got it's funny you say that, because starting next week I'll be dropping a whole lot, but we got one right now. We got a shirt that's 24/7 365, because you're solo, you're by yourself, you're with yourself. It's you 24/7 365. You can have as many people around you, but at the end of the day, you got to be there in order for it to be there. So 24/7 365. We got our bracket Solo One shirt, where it says basically you versus me versus you in one bracket, them versus you in another bracket. Then you win, and it's me versus me, because at the end of the day, I'm always gonna win on top. That's how Solo is made. So we don't let people, what they say about at 20 years old, you care who they are. At 40 years old, you don't care who they are. And by the time you turn 60, you realize there was no they. So Solo's trying to help you understand right now that there is no they. It's you and you only. You're winning by yourself, with yourself right now today, because you can't make these moves without yourself. You can't do anything unless you go solo.
Okay. Now, so tell the people how they can get in touch with you, how they can, get a hold of your clothing, talk to us.
You can find Solo One Clothing is solo1clothing.com. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram, Solo One. You can get in touch with me, Billy Graham Jr. I'm on Instagram, Billy Graham Jr. Instagram is Mr. Billy Graham Jr. And then you can find me on Facebook, Billy Graham Jr. Booking, all that stuff is all online. Let's see. Everything you can find me through social media. My email is you got Solo One Clothing at Gmail. You can catch me through email. You can catch me Facebook, social media, and the website, like I said, solo1clothing.com.
Okay. Before we go, drop a nugget to the people before we go.
Drop the negative people, huh? The way I view it, the negative people, to eliminate the negative people in your life, Samuel Blake said it best. You see it, you seek it, and you find it. So basically, whatever you see and envision, you speak it into existence. You see it, you see the vision, and then you go after it. And no matter who gets in your way, don't stop chasing your dreams. Don't stop chasing your goals. Go after everything, because the only way you're going to get there is if you make the first move. As my grandpa used to always say, if you want to get somewhere in life, you got to first get up and jump off the porch. Time to jump off the porch.
Better hope that porch ain't too high.
It don't matter if you're too. You won't be too hurt too long. You're going to get to where you want to go.
Oh, boy. You're going to have a drop. Well, look, Billy, I really appreciate you joining us tonight here on Urban Sentinel Live. I really enjoyed talking to you. You dropped some good stuff on us tonight. You're never too old to have someone to coach you into the right direction. And like I said, I'm always looking for those nuggets myself, because like I said, I just feel like, I can always learn something, and I think I'll be learning until the day I get called to my great reward. That's how I look at it. There's always something out there I can learn. I just don't close myself off to learning and stuff. For the viewing audience, we've had a sit-down conversation with Billy Graham Jr. From the big state of Texas. He's a motivational coach, a personal development coach, a veteran. Let's get out and support him. Has a book coming out. When is your book coming out again?
It should be released sometime this fall.
Okay, so in the fall, look out for his book from Billy Graham Jr. Please support him. Support his clothing line. Like I always say, we need to support our Black businesses. Okay, we need to help each other out. Okay, we got we have a big amount of money to spend in the Black community. So let's start spending on our own people and supporting them as much as we can. So again, Billy, thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for people for watching. Next week, I won't be on next week. I'll be back Monday after next. I got to take care of some stuff with my family. So next Monday night I won't be on. Just keep my family in prayer, keep my wife in prayer. And we'll get back together Monday after next, my good people. So I appreciate you watching. Billy, keep doing you, man. Keep making it happen. Keep motivating people, okay?
Will do. Thank you.
Okay, peace out. Have a good one. Good night, everyone.